Hey divers, Sean at Dive Right In Scuba here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to assemble a HOG backplate and wing with the HOG Hybrid Harness. Now, a lot of wing and backplates are set up similarly, so this video may also be useful to other divers setting up other systems that aren't necessarily this exact brand or combination. Before we get started, we're going to want to make sure that we have all of our required materials. To start, you're going to want to make sure that you have a backplate, a wing. The HOG wing does not need an STA in addition, so we don't need an STA with this HOG wing. We have the contents of our hybrid harness pack, which is our shoulder straps, our waist strap, our D-rings and their applicable tri-glides, buckle, plastic tri-glides for the shoulder straps, and this fancy retaining band for the power inflator. If you ordered from Dive Right In Scuba, then you'll have been prompted to have grabbed a set of book screws, which I have here, which we'll use. These are not included in the hybrid package, so be sure to pick up a set of book screws if you have not already, as you will need them to complete this. Alright, and that's how you install the armband. Just kidding. I've installed this one on already so that we have a visual reference for what we're working toward. See how the strap comes from behind and then over and back through this cut? And then it is secured in place with the plastic tri-glide. Now, before you put your armbands on, make sure that you've got your left and right in the right place. You can tell by looking at the chest strap. You want to make sure that these two feed toward each other instead of away. Then go ahead and find the tip of that strap, and we are going to feed it from behind, forward, and now through. Divers come in all shapes and sizes, but a good rule of thumb is to leave 3 fingers of space of webbing between that hole and where the fabric begins. You can adjust as needed to best fit your diving body. Once you've pulled that slack taut, go ahead and flip the plate over and grab one of the plastic tri-glides that was included in the package. Then floss it through the top and back through the bottom. Make sure this is nice and secure. And that will retain your straps. Go ahead and double check that you've installed them correctly by clicking the chest strap. Bingo. All right, now that we've installed our shoulder straps, we're going to go ahead and install our waistband. First, identify the grommet and look for not the rounded edge, but the indented edge. We want that side facing us while we look at the backplate. This grommet is going to line up with this cutout here. To hold it in place, this is when you might want to grab one of those nifty book screws I mentioned earlier. These screw apart. And we can put one side there, grommet with the indented side facing out toward us, and the book screw mates inside. This will help us make sure that it stays in place as we set up the harness, but we will remove this booking screw before we reattach the wing. Go ahead and grab any strap, either side, and we're going to floss this in through here, the first cut. Then come back through the second cut, like so. I'll repeat that again on this side, and see how having that grommet in place helps make sure that this did not move away from the center line. So through the first strap, back through the other. You'll know you'll have done this right if you see this piece of metal in between. If you have done it in the reverse, you'll see fabric right here. All right, we're going to go ahead and grab our waistband. Make sure that you tell which side is facing outward and inward, so we don't want our products getting twisted around. We're going to start by flossing this through the back of the weight pouch. Make sure that this D-ring is going to end orientated down, facing toward your toes if you were to stand while wearing this. So floss it through the back. Then go ahead and reach for your shoulder strap. Here, you'll find this fancy tri-glide, maybe more of a quad glide. Just like you can see on this one, we want to floss from below. That way, the tri-glide will sit flush. Then over and through the last opening on the tri-glide, like so. Then we're going to floss this tail end of the webbing here. Oh, we're going to get it. Awesome. See, now that's nice and secure. It's not sliding around anywhere. That keeps your weights secured so these don't slide around. And now we've installed our quick release weights and our shoulder straps. All right, now that our waist strap is installed, we're going to go ahead and get our D-rings installed here. So go ahead and choose a side. Grab your tri-glide here, and how it's going to work is this will flow through the bottom, this side facing out. Go ahead and put your D-ring then over. Slide these down to about where you'd like them. And to cinch this D-ring in place, we're going to floss this back through that tri-glide. Roll it down so they're nice and taut. And there you have it. One D-ring. Now this one is obviously a little out of place, so we'd want to create some slack. And then we can move the tri-glide down to where it's better placed, closer to our hips. And then we pull the fabric and secure it down where we like it. Bingo. Repeat this step for both sides. Now that our D-ring is installed onto our waist strap, we're going to add a couple of recommended accessories that aren't included in the hybrid package, but we sell them here at Dive Right In Scuba. These Snoopy loops, as divers lovingly call them, otherwise you can describe them as just big, thick rubber bands. These help with retaining the strap slack. So we're going to add 2 of these onto the left side after installing the D-ring. The best way I've found to do this is to kind of fold your webbing so that you can better fit it through the gum band without overstretching it or damaging it. Some webbing is stiffer than other, especially if it's brand new webbing. So think peaceful thoughts as you slowly work it down. Be careful not to stretch these out too hard or to have them fold over themselves, as that can create creases in the rubber bands and shorten their lifespan. They're extremely nifty and worth the trouble, but you'll want to be delicate with them so that they last a nice long time. See that fold. Slowly working it down. All right, that's one. I'll spare you guys watching me struggle with the second, and we'll catch up to each other in just a moment. All right, now that we have both of our Snoopy loops attached, we can go ahead and attach our belt buckle. We're going to want to install this on our left side, and we start by diving right in to that first buckle. Then we're going to come up through the middle, back down through the top. So we've got through the down through the first, up through the middle, and back down through the bottom. Like so. This is how it should look. You should see metal, cam band, metal. And this one, we're going to pinch, be sure to pinch this back with good tension, and that will give you more space up here through that top ring to then floss your slack back through. It'll be snug, but you can do it with the proper technique. All right. Bingo. You can then use these Snoopy loops here, which we recommended earlier, to retain this slack or cut off some of it. Now be careful before you just start cutting off extra webbing, because you might need that slack or a portion of it in the future in case you change sizes or your scuba gear equipment that you're using changes. I would use a very different waistband setting in my dry suit than I would be using in a 3mm wetsuit. So before we trim it, keep that in mind. So with these Snoopy loops, we can just then fold this underneath that rubber band, and that will help retain this strap and keep it from getting tangled up in other things. And just be sure to make sure the Snoopy loop is nice and flush. We don't want them to have stress creases. Cool. Looking good. Now, we've installed the D-ring after the weight pouch on our right-hand side, just like I showed you on the left-hand side. And this should floss right through and close like an airplane seatbelt buckle. This completes our harness. All right, now that the hybrid harness is installed to our back plate, we're going to go ahead and move on to installing the wing. First, remove the book screws which we used earlier to hold this grommet in place. It's now secure by the tri-glides that we've mounted. Put this somewhere safe and handy nearby because we'll need it in just a moment. Let's take a second to inspect our wing. Not all wings are designed the same way. This wing by HOG has 32 pounds of lift, which is appropriate for most recreational diving in colder waters. Here we have cutouts, which means that this will be compatible with cam bands to secure your tank without having to use a STA or single tank adapter. These grommets are what the book screws will feed through to secure to the back of our plate. The logo will face the back of your head. Go ahead and take your plate and line up these 3 sockets with these 3 grommets. Take your book screw and just like before, feed it from the bottom, one through the top, screw them together, just hand tight is all you need. Here's my other book screw. This one will go just where it was before. Get that nice and hand tight. And there we go. Our bladder is now mounted to our harness and back plate. Don't forget that you have this nifty inflator hose retainer. You can now go ahead, mount that like so with the Velcro. Looking good. All right, so now that we have our wing mounted to our back plate, the last step is to install our cam bands. And as twice before, I have one already installed as an example of what we're shooting for. When you grab your cam band, it will come with this rubber retainer on it. We want to pull that off of it. We're going to use it later, so put it to the side where it's handy. For now, grab your cam band and identify the tail side of it. We want to floss the tail side through the left. Floss it through this strap of the bladder. And then pull the bladder back to reveal the cutouts on your plates. Don't be fooled by this first one, which you'll see. Pull it back a little further, and you'll notice these two. Use whichever one is appropriate for your height. And thread it through the plate. Then, grab that strap, floss it back through the plate. And back through the cutout on the wing. Bingo. Now we're going to take that plastic retainer, which we had earlier, and we're going to floss this through and then underneath here and out the top. Then, to floss the cam band, we want to go underneath the marker 1, over marker 2. So it should look like this after your first. Under 1, over 2, back through the hole underneath 3. Should look like so now. Then take the tail end and floss it underneath 4. And there you have it. One flossed cam band. All right, last thing is we're going to install the crotch strap. The crotch strap is important as this helps prevent the BCD from riding up on you while you're diving underwater and helps keep it secured firmly in place. What we're going to do is grab the tail. The tail is going to be the side opposite of the buckle and loop. We want to find the cutouts at the base of the plate. Depending on which size crotch strap you order, it may only fit through one of the chosen of the holes. Choose the hole which it fits best, and this part's easy. Just loop it from under over, and then tuck it underneath this plastic buckle there. The best and easiest way is to create a little slack like so, and then feed it through. So I've got this here. It's kind of inside that loop, and I'm going to feed it back through again. There. To adjust, you can slide this up and down and pull that slack through here to adjust the length. The crotch strap will then floss through this loop here, like so, and the waistband then connects into the buckle, holding everything nice and in place. All right, and that's how you install your HOG Hybrid Harness to a HOG backplate and mount a HOG wing with HOG cam band straps. Thank you very much, guys. Hopefully this answered your questions and made your journey a little bit simpler. We're always available on the phone, and give us a call anytime you have any questions. We're always here to help. Thank you.